Okay, I have a lot to get through today, and I want to talk about a few things. I just watched Zach Sports and Collectibles, and he was making a video that Kohl's has baseball cards or trading cards sort of thing. Most stores that people are showing have cards right crazy on this shelf and this shelf, all within reaching distance. And then what happened is, so I go to a store, I won't tell the name because people in the Northwest might know what it is, but if you're on the East Coast, it's not going to help you. It's just, when I say Northwest, I mean Oregon, Washington, maybe California. Not sure if it's Idaho, but there's a bunch of stores, and I actually found some stuff out in the front there. I went there because I had a feeling that they would have pages here. So we got some pages. 9 pocket pages costs $2.59, whatever that's worth. Hopefully they're the sturdy enough pages here. And then I got some packs, and most of the packs are behind the counter, the stuff that, when I was there was a young man, probably 30, 29, I don't know. Anyway, he was looking for Pokemon, bought 2 packs of something, and they usually have them for them at another register, so can't buy them there. It's all very secure, and then you go to the one register, and if you go to these places, sometimes the clerks are so deathly slow. They've got nowhere to be except for the work, and some of the customers are just very, very slow. They also asked somebody their age for buying beer, and their date of birth was 1933. So you know what that means. They're like 92 or something crazy, like 92 or 93, and they were buying beer. So that was pretty funny. I don't know if it was for themselves or whatever, but it was just kind of interesting there. So there was that one there, and then before I get into the cards, I picked up 6 of these yesterday at the Goodwill store, the Sizzler ashtrays there. Now, as much as you think these would have a ton of value, there's gobs of them on the internet. The newer ones you don't see as much, but the previous logos to this particular Sizzler from the 80s or 70s. So people try to get 20 bucks a piece for those, and they really should be asking, $2 to $5 each, but that's probably, if you saw them for $2, I'm sure you would grab them in a garage sale. They were all bins things, and nobody grabbed them, because sometimes you find one ashtray and you'll grab it, but you see 6 of the same, and like, never mind then. So earlier today I was out of breath because I had to get a window air conditioner, as in I had to, but you start thinking about it and it just weighs on you, and this thing was heavy, and I practically goofed myself getting down the stairs, but I'm all good condition. It's out down in the driveway. I don't care how long it sits there, but it's marked free. It's just too big to put in the car and e-waste it. It's just a lot of work. You heft that up and risk ripping the cushions in your car. That's not worth it. So somebody will take it eventually for scrap. I might have to put a larger sign on it. And then this morning I was just working on a card set build. That's why I bought these pages here, so I can use my cards like these and fill them in there and just look up the missing cards. It's just so easy to accidentally buy 2 cards. But I did decide to try to buy from Dean's Cards. I haven't bought from them ever since they goofed me up and charged me the shipping on the return of their mistake. So that was frustrating, and I don't think I got that back. I tried to get it back, and no. This was years ago. Now I think they're a little more automated and stuff like that, so I think it's better. So we'll get to the cards in just a second here, but that particular set build I mentioned earlier, and I want to say that it was cheaper for me to spend the $5 for shipping and then get all the 99-cent cards or whatever, $1.25 ones. So I'll be probably not quite half of a set build. I had 17, and then I had 10. I got another 10, and then something like that. So that's like 27 cards there, and so whatever, or yeah, I don't know, so that's not quite half the set. No, it's probably a third of the set. I'm going to be needing a lot. Anyway, so let's get to the packs here before I start rambling about other unimportant things here. And I saw these first. I think I saw these. And these are first edition. I think they're the only edition, Series 1. And these are the XG games. They were 99 cents a pack. Nobody was grabbing them, and I got 3 of those. I have bought these from from that place before years ago. And I want to say that you're looking for Shaun White's rookie card in that. And that goes for a little bit. I don't know how much. And people say these are hard to find. I have no idea. I don't know how many of these they have, but I just bought all 3 packs. So packs were 99 cents. That's a heck of a deal. And they were out in the open, so very happy to get those. We'll open those in a second. And I bought the other 2, so I spent a whopping 12 bucks. And I got 2 packs of $2.99 each, and these are 2022 Turbo Attacks. So how cool is that? So we're going to open up these last, the Turbo Attacks last, the F1, and then we're going to open up these. Finding individual packs is what I want to do. So I don't remember when these are from, but you know, Shaun White, you know, Olympic athlete, X Games and all that fun stuff. Now these are big cards, so I have a bunch of these. I don't have a complete set. They're in very poor condition, mind you, because they just don't have pages that they can fit easily. And again, you'd have to look online to see how old these are. I can't really. There's Expo.com, ESPN. Let's see. I'm not sure. I can't find a date there. I find all kinds of California, Puerto Rico, or Puerto Boulevard, and Puerto del Sol Suite. Oh, I don't know. All that stuff there, but I'm not seeing a date on there. Let's get one of these open here, and I'll just show you. And they're cut weird. They're like die cuts for the most part. So, I'm not sure if there's a special card per pack, but we have Carl Custer, whoever Carl Kuster or Custer is, and they've got kind of like this design here. From there, you wouldn't be able to see that. And then the backs, you can see there's a die cut right here. And the backs have this right here. So there is that one, and this is card number 45. So it's not a small set. I don't remember if it was a 100 card set or what you could get out of here, if there was any other special ones. Oh, here's a cool one here. So this is Drake McElroy, and you can see it's cut on the top here. I mean, I guess if you do it this way, it's cut that way. And again, these are all X Gamers. This one unfortunately has a smashed corner on it. So yeah, these have probably been around a while, but there's a smashed corner. You won't be able to see that. And this is some sort of see-through / lenticular card or whatever. I'm not sure, but it's, you know, you can see through it. And this is something rock. Let's see, J.P. Walker, switch, backslide, lip side. So he is a snowboarder there. And this is some sort of X Games, like, again, there's the back of the card there, so you can hopefully see the light shining through. It doesn't do it justice. I might try to take pictures of this afterwards, but that's J.P. Walker. I'm not familiar with a lot of these people here. We still have a lot of packs to go. There is the merchandise card, or the whatever it was, sports, ProCoreSports.com, you know, flyer, but it also is a checklist there, so that's neat. So I want to say that there is 46 cards in the set, and there's Rock Stars, which I just got, I think one of those, yeah, Rock Stars, I guess that's what that was. And then we have some other cards there, and there's Shaun White listed. I don't know how many Shaun Whites there are. And this is Priscilla Lavac. Sounds very French or Canadian, I don't know. Then we have Todd Richards. We have Brian Deegan, and these are all over the place on the internet. Brian Deegan. I don't know if any of these people will sign these. And Pep Fujas. So there's Pep Fujas. A lot of snowboarders in this set here. 2 more packs, and then maybe we'll do the F1s, or we'll save them for another video. We're already at like 8 minutes or something crazy. And then I got a few more things to show, hopefully, when I get these done here. I don't really want to save the labels, but or the wrappers, but I guess I can. Get this one open a little further here. I'm so out of practice from opening packs here. Getting stuck a little bit here, so I just want to keep one pack probably down in the corners there. This is Ronnie Renner. Ronnie Renner there. Ronnie Renner. Looks like a X Games motorcyclist there. I know somebody who does that. Not X Games, but just John. Then we got John Olson. Barrett, and they spell Barrett Christie. I've heard that name before. If you know any of these people, if they sign. This one here is the Rewind stories, I think it is, or Rewind series, and it's Brian Deegan, Mad Mike Jones, and Tommy Clowers. So there's those 3 guys there, and the backs are a little bit different. Nice foil card. I wish they were all like this, and not like those die cuts, which are just a mess. I don't know how many, and there's another one of these checklists in here. I wonder if that's one per thing. And then we have 3 more cards here. We have Hannah Beeman. So these are a while ago. A lot of these guys are probably retired. Steel Spence, what are names? Steel Spence and Eddie Wall. So Eddie Wall, jumping over walls. So there's Steel Spence and Eddie Wall. Hopefully you can see these well enough. And last pack. And then we'll do the 2 F1 packs. I don't know anything about the Match Attax other than it's usually a cheaper product. But finding single packs all by themselves, just take those. It just, I'm just happy to grab those. I didn't need cards, but there's Carl Custer again, so that might be a duplicate pack here. Yeah, we have Drake McElroy. I seem to remember that one before. There's Drake McElroy. But again, you're going to have, such a small set. Mark Frank Montoya, so we didn't have that one yet. Yeah, another one of these checklists here, so we don't need to see that. Steel Spence again, that name. Anything fancy in this one? Looks like we just have base cards here. So it looks like we don't have Shaun White in here, but we have Blair Morgan. I do have a Shaun White, but it would probably grade out at a 4 or 5 because the corners, these are just so dreadful. I don't even know if they grade these. Dane Kennard, I think I've heard that name before. And then we have Tora Bright. I think that sounds like a name from the Olympics, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, that weird kind of effect there, like sun rays or something. So that's interesting. And then we'll just take a break for a second here and we'll look at this here. The reason why I have KHJTV Los Angeles is because I picked up this book on Los Angeles in the free pile. And I'm just basically going to deconstruct it and use that for packing materials and save. It's a sunset book, so it doesn't have a lot of value. Also, it was ex-library from a prison, so not very good. And then I'll just save some of the pictures there, but I'll use it for packing. There's some horse jockey things going on there, and then some other interesting pictures going on with stuff like that. So anything else in here? Very quickly. Yeah, some interesting architecture, the large zoo. What's that? Los Angeles Zoo. So some of those pictures I might save because the Los Angeles Zoo is kind of, the old one is kind of abandoned and turned into a park, and people make videos of that. So we'll get into the TurboTax here and get that little tab off of there. Again, I don't need to save the wrappers. If I was doing a set build, I would save the wrappers and put it with that. But again, I just don't, and I won't know half of these people here. But the first, so I'm not familiar with these cards here. Carlos Sainz. I've heard of that driver. Sands, maybe. Carlos Sands. Then we have a team duo. This is Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. I know it's like Ricardo, but not Ricciardo, but that's what people say. It's Daniel Ricciardo. Sebastian Vettel. I know that driver. We have Mick Schumacher. So there's that one, and I'll show you what the backs look like. Sorry. TurboTax there, if you're not familiar with TurboTax. At one time, these were more geared to overseas market, I think. Fernando Alonso. Live action of Yuki Tsunoda. So I know how to say some of these names here. Sergio Perez. That one there. And we got 2 superstars. We got Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. I don't know how to say those, but yeah, I know how to say Lando Norris. And we have George Russell with a damaged corner. So these have been around since 22. And the store could have had them forever. I just wiped out whatever was loose that was on the shelves there. And like I said, the pages, I'm more interested in the pages because I'm getting a binder project put together. Okay, so last pack here. And we have, I know Carlos Sainz. We've seen that guy 3 times. Valtteri. Yeah, it's Valtteri Bottas. Again, I've seen these names before. I just don't say them every day. Lance Stroll. Wait, I got that one there. This is probably another Norris. No, this is another Marcus. This is Marcus Armstrong. So these probably wouldn't. This is actually in good condition here. So some of them might grade if you wanted to. Esteban Ocon. I'm not seeing any of... there it is. Lewis Hamilton. I was going to say Lewis Hamilton. So these were $2.99 a pack. We have the 2022... Well, things I got a telemarketer. Oh my gosh. I thought it was a real person. It wasn't. Anyway, we got the 2022 F1 card. Who drives that? I don't know. It looks like Alpha Tari, but that's not the driver. I don't know what this is. I don't see the driver on there. Who knows? Then we have 3 more cards left here, and we've got Max Verstappen. So there's Max Verstappen there. I know who that is. And we have Dennis Hauger. I'm not super familiar with Dennis Hauger, but some of these sets have a crazy amount of interesting cards and parallels, and they're just fun cards with all different kinds of things you can find. And then the last one here we have Sebastian Vettel, F1 Radio Message of the Season, Topps Awards. That's a one that I like. Now let's see if these are the same size as a regular card. Seems like they're close. I was just testing with this old leaders here. Let's see another one here. I don't know. Who knows? Would they make the size requirements? These seem smaller because there's a little white edge right here. Let me try a different card here. Let's try this Burton Cummings here from the Guess Who. Yeah, so that one, yeah, look at that one. It's, if you can see that black edge there, that one is short. So let's look at some of these other ones here. Okay, maybe it's just that card. No. All of them are short by like that much. I knew they felt smaller. There's, of course, foil damage right there, so what can you do? These are, like I said, the first packs I bought in ages. Maybe even, I mean, again, it was just very lucky I went down there. I was looking for some other stuff, and I just want to get out of there. You know, I feel like I'm, not say the youngest person in there, because there was a guy looking for Pokemon, but yeah, it's kind of like a farmy type store, and it's not Wilco, don't worry about that. Yeah, see, so some of these, like one of these is sticking out here. And that's the Burton Cummings. That's the only one that was sticking out there. So, yeah, these are a little on the narrow side. So, if you have, like, those slightly narrow baseball card pages, these might work for those. And I've got a bunch of, like, Amazon-type pages, and sometimes, you know, the pockets are not even, so you, like, try to put a card in the middle, and it won't fit, so I have some empty spaces. But, again, very, very happy to get some cards, some Dean's cards. The mail has not arrived yet. That's why I did this instead. 0 mail, but I got crazy amount of things, and I am pretty much done for the moment for what I have been collecting. There's only 1 or 2 more cards, you know, until I can take a break for the next month or whatever. So I don't need to buy any more cards. I will be in you know, card heaven in the next few weeks here, provided sellers get the stuff out to me. And of course, I've got 1 card through, you know, trading card. I'm sorry. I got an order through Burbank Sports Cards. I don't think I've heard much back from them. And I also have an order through CMC 1 card through CMC eBay just to see what happens. And then, of course, Dean Cards. So I tried different things just to see how things are different now. And that was my breaks. I'll try to do something at the end of the video, and thank you for watching.